So this is gonna be Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall Part 2 rematch. It's definitely gonna be a good fight. I feel like I would give the edge to Catterall as far as the boxing ability in this fight. As far as the strategy, I would give that to Josh Taylor, the experience, and also I feel like if people remember in the last fight that Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor had, um, these guys they had a bit of trouble trying to. Well, as far as Josh Taylor, he had a bit of trouble trying to make weight. He was very drained in that fight. It's probably one of the most drained pictures we've seen from him as far as his weight. He hasn't had that big of a problem since that fight, but in that fight, he came into the fight lighter than he usually is as far as his appearance. And overall, I feel like he's going to be rejuvenated. He's going to have enough time to actually go into this fight and show what he can do. He won't be able to worry about different things like weight. I feel like he'll be a lot more relaxed. Won't be too much pressure in this fight. There's not as much on the line as it was last time, but it's still a lot on the line because he feels like he won the last fight and he feels like he's going to win this fight. Over the last couple of months, last couple of years actually, I've actually had Jack Catterall tabbed as the guy that I was going to pick in this fight. But as I go on this breakdown, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to go towards the edge of Josh Taylor for some reason lately. Just a couple of things like the stamina, the weight. I feel like that was a huge factor in him getting knocked down last time. Overall, it's kind of hard for that guy to get dropped. And the way he got dropped, you could tell his legs weren't under him. He wasn't balanced. But from that 9th, 10th, and 11th round up until the 12th, I feel like he definitely did an excellent job fighting into this fight. Actually, if you look at how the scoring was between Josh Taylor and Catterall in the first fight, it's kind of similar to what just happened with the Usyk fight. Because later on, Taylor fought better rounds later on with the fight with Jack Catterall. In the 9th, 10th, and 11th round, he kind of turned it on after that knockdown. So it was definitely a lot of things that he brought to the table. They're both southpaws. I felt like Taylor was going to the body a lot more. That definitely affected Catterall, took a lot of punches out of him. Catterall was going upstairs. But with Josh Taylor investing to that body, that helped him take the energy out of Catterall and helped him last multiple rounds later on throughout the fight. And I definitely was impressed with everything he done throughout the fight. And I just felt like Jack Catterall, he needed to get some space a little bit because he was fighting more inside. But Taylor was smothering his punches and kind of throwing some overhand lefts and right hooks to the body. His punches were wide, but I feel like if Catterall could have kept those punches a lot more, where his punches a lot more accurate and closer, and not try to just aim anywhere, especially when he's trying to swing over the top. It was just bad angles he was taking. But overall, I felt like he was dominating in what he was doing, but his stamina wasn't at the point to where he can dominate like that. And I said recently he hasn't had many rounds before that Linares fight. And Linares, he retired after the fight, and he was just satisfied with going 12 rounds, but Linares is still an excellent fighter. And the things that kind of occurred in the fight, it was because of Linares being a good fighter. And anybody else, Catterall could have possibly stopped them or dominated even more. But in the fight, Linares was a tough fighter. It was a good fight for Catterall, though. It's going to actually prepare him for the Josh Taylor fight. It's a very close fight, man. I think it's going to be a decision. But I feel like Josh Taylor, he can edge it out in this fight if he lets his hands fly a little bit more than what he did in the other fight. And I feel like his energy will be up a little bit more. He did take a loss to Teofimo Lopez recently. That was a very tough fight. But as we know, Teofimo, he's been one of the most active fighters over the last couple of years, especially with the competition he's had. So it could be just a one fight situation. I don't feel like Josh Taylor's value went down just because of that one fight. I feel like he definitely has a strategy that bodes well for a guy like Catterall. If he can continue to go to the body in this fight, knowing that Catterall has had many rounds over the last couple of years, and he can go toe to toe with him, that'll work out for him. And he also throws the jab a little bit more. He jabs a little bit more when they fight. I would like to see Catterall kind of jab a little bit more, just try to overwhelm Josh Taylor with the combinations, but gives him too much breathing room in between exchanges and everything else. But if he can kind of turn it on in this fight, I feel like Catterall can definitely beat Josh Taylor. But I feel like if Josh Taylor can go in this fight a little bit more motivated, just overall his weight being good, legs up under him, I definitely feel like he could take this fight. So I'm going to go with Josh Taylor, split decision in this fight. Feel like it's going to be close again. The referee's going to do a better job. That's all I got. Like and subscribe.